Hi guys, it's Mike from Better Me, and I'm so excited to have you guys back with me today. Today, I want to talk about a topic that is super important for everybody out there in the community today, and that is the difference between an asset versus a liability. Now, once you start looking at assets and liabilities through a different lens, you start to kind of look at building wealth a lot differently. So today in our country, people tend to buy liabilities. So what is a liability? So a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Okay, so it could be your car, for example, right? People love to buy new cars. But what happens when you buy a new car? Well, when you roll off the lot, that car depreciates. As soon as you roll it off the lot, the car depreciates. And what does depreciation mean? It means it loses its value. It doesn't lose its value completely, but if you came off the lot driving a $40,000 car, you may drive off that lot now and the car is worth maybe $35,000 or maybe $34,000. Whatever that depreciation value is of that vehicle, it's going to be less now because it's no longer a new car, it's actually a used car. And so every single month you put gas into the car, every single month you pay insurance, every single month you pay a premium or you pay a installment fee to be able to use that car, whether you lease it or finance it. But if you pay cash for the car, you don't have the monthly payments, but you still have paid for that car. And after you pay for it, after the cash leaves your account, leaves your pocket, it's now depreciating in value. And that's the biggest thing, that's the biggest misconception here in this country is we don't want to have things that depreciate. We don't want to have things that pull money out of our pockets. We want to have things that actually put money back into our pockets. And that's what I want to talk about today. So like we said, liabilities, they are anything that takes money away from your pocket. And so I think there's a big debate out there as to when we categorize or how we categorize liabilities. And so for me, I'll categorize your car as a liability. Plain and simple. Car is a liability. You drive it off the lot, you're going to lose a couple of $1,000s because now that car is classified as something used versus something new. And most likely, unless you have a classic car or an antique car or some special kind of vehicle, that car is not going to increase in value. Now, at the time of this recording, there's a little bit of strange economic times going on, so you may actually be able to have some more equity into the vehicle at the time that you go to trade it in or go to sell the vehicle. But in normal cases, when you take that car off the lot, it depreciates in value and you are going to get less than you actually paid for it. So definitely the car. Now, when it comes to your home, a lot of people say your home is an asset. A lot of people say the home is the American dream. I don't have that same viewpoint. I believe that capitalism, I believe that entrepreneurship, your ability to own a business, ability to have passive income, ability to provide for your family and leave legacies for your family, that's the American dream. People believe that the home is an asset. I don't truly believe that the home is an asset, and I'll explain why. So as we discussed, liabilities take money out of your pocket. Well, what puts money into your pocket? Well, what puts money into your pocket is an asset. So what is the biggest example of an asset today? In my opinion, it's a business, right? It's a business, and it's a successful business at that. Because what happens is when you start your business, if you can scale it properly, if you could scale it properly to the point where it's bringing in cash flow, and that's actually the key word here is cash flow. You always want to make sure that when you have an asset, that you're receiving cash flow for that asset. And what that means is that asset is generating cash for you. And you may actually get to the point where your assets, the things that put money in your pocket, are actually generating money for you while you sleep. So let me give you a prime example of an asset. So let's say you buy a real estate property, and let's just say you buy a duplex. Okay, so you have a unit where it has two separate entrances. You have one home and it has two units within the one home. And let's just say you have two families or one family in each one of the two units. So now essentially what's happening is if you're renting out that house, let's just say for $2,000 per unit, you're getting $4,000 per month. Let's just say your expenses are $1,000 per month. Nice round number. That means you're getting a total of $3,000 per month after expenses. The amount that you're receiving after your expenses is your cash flow. And normally what happens is after you own a real estate property for a little while, you become established, you may have a property manager, that income producing property starts cash flowing for you to the point where you really don't have to worry about that property anymore. Now every month you're receiving a check from the property manager after your expenses, and that is your cash flow. Okay, that's one big example of a cash flowing asset. The biggest thing that people don't understand today is that people with assets, they're purchasing their liabilities with the money they're receiving, the cash flow they're receiving from their assets. They're not using earned income to buy assets. Because ultimately what happens with earned income, you can only make so much earned income. I can only work 8 hours in a day. I am only going to make $300,000 per year. That's my income. And once that income is gone and depleted, it's gone. But if you continue to buy your liabilities with your assets that are continually producing cash flow for you, that's a little bit different. That's where the magic starts to happen. But again, a lot of people in this country and potentially all over the world, they will buy liabilities with their earned income that are not producing them any kind of cash flow. Whereas people that have income producing assets, they will start to buy, if they want to buy a brand new car, or if they want to buy a home, they will buy that home or that car from their income producing assets. Okay? So another income producing asset other than a business and other than a home might be your investment portfolio. So you may have an investment portfolio. There is risk associated with an investment portfolio, but you may have stocks or ETFs or some kind of investments, gold, silver, that's appreciating in value. You may have stocks that you're receiving dividends on, right? And those dividends are cash flow. It's income producing cash flow. These are considered assets, okay? You may have precious metals, you may have art, you may have baseball cards that are appreciating in value, so that when you sell that baseball card, you are receiving cash flow from the sale. And that is considered an asset, okay? And so that's the major difference today, guys, between assets and liabilities. The liabilities are taking money away from your pocket. And a lot of times what we have to do is take a step back, and we have to do what's really hard. We have to construct a budget. We have to talk to our partner. We have to talk to our spouse. And we have to talk about the hard things. Where do we want to spend our money? How do we want to spend our money? How much money is coming in now? How much money do we think we'll make in the future? We have to do a budget. How much money are we spending eating out? We're going to have to stop eating out. And we know that that's a really hard topic. Like a lot of my clients spend a lot of their money eating out. A lot of my friends and family spend a lot of their money eating out. You know, we did that too. Spend a lot of our money eating out. It's a really hard decision. It's a really hard discussion to have. And it's a really hard decision to make, to be able to trim back what you need to trim back to be able to really start to tighten up and become wealthy. And so once you start to make those decisions, you can't have those discussions until you understand where it is that you need to change. And to understand where it is that you need to change, you need to step back. You need to look at your budget. You need to look at your finances. You need to have a discussion with your partner. And that's the biggest part, is making sure that you communicate with your partner about money. Because if one person has an idea about money and the other person has a different idea about money, then there's going to be contention there. So it's always good to make sure that you fully communicate about what's going on with your finances. So at the end of the day, guys, we want to make sure that we create more assets in our portfolio, whether it be buying gold, buying silver, having a stock market portfolio, having life insurance. That's another asset that's going to accumulate. It's going to accumulate cash for you, right? Having all of those things together, having more assets than we have liabilities. And then once we start to accumulate these assets, and these assets are producing cash flow, then we can start to go over here and we can look at the different types of liabilities that we might want to spend our money on. But not until we're safe here. We have a solid foundation. We have plenty of assets. They're producing cash flow. Go over here, have a little bit of fun. So guys, I hope this video helped. This is a really important topic because, like I said, a lot of people, they think they don't have money, or they say like, I want to make more money at my job. I want to, I want to just produce more. But the really sad truth is, or the really hard truth is that you probably have enough money. You're just spending way too much. You're spending way above your means. So that's really the first step, guys. So guys, if you like this video, super excited, super glad you liked the content. I hope it added value for you. If you have any other questions, please do send me an email at info@5pillarfinancial.com. That's info@5pillarfinancial.com. The 5 is spelled out. Really look forward to hearing from you. And until then, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.